Thank you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to start the main session of this event today. Now this is time to opening address. Today we are honored to have with us a leader whose lifelong commitment to ethical politics, public service and national reform continues to inspire millions. It's now my privilege to invite the Amir of Bangladesh Jamaat Islami to deliver the opening address of Policy Summit 2026. Ladies and gentlemen,
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah and good morning to all. Also a happy new year. Distinguished members of the diplomatic community, political leaders, industry leaders, business leaders, esteemed academics, civil society leaders, journalists, my colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for joining us today at this important moment in Bangladesh's national journey. As you all know, Bangladesh approaches another national election on February 12th. We are here today to have the privilege to present the policy and vision of a new, prosperous Bangladesh we aspire to. Let me start by thanking you all for gracing us with your presence here today. It gives me great pleasure to have the honor of addressing all of you. It's a real privilege for me. We are here today to talk about the future of these blessed lands, our beloved Bangladesh. It is a country that has tested again and again throughout our journey in last history. And we have never been found to be wanting. We are the country of hope above despair, democracy over tyranny, and partnership over isolation. As the whole world is aware, in the year 2024, during what has been termed the monsoon revolution, the citizens of Bangladesh, led by our young people, declared the end of the autocratic rule of former regime, and once again we freed ourselves. We had faced 15 years of authoritarian rule of the previous regime, under which we saw the most horrific torture of opponents, repression of political freedoms, mismanagement of the economy on a mass criminal scale, and the systemic dismantling of the democratic institutions. My party, Jamaat Islami, alongside so many others, paid a heavy price for opposing autocracy and tyranny, with our leaders murdered and our voices suppressed for speaking out in favor of democracy and freedom of speech. In August 2024, the people of Bangladesh said, enough is enough. With our brave students and young people leading the fight for freedom once again. Too many of our young people suffered at the hands of a regime that was determined to extinguish our democratic hopes, with approximately 2,000 people been killed and over 24,000 been critically injured and become crippled. But as is always, the eventual outcome The light of freedom and democracy overcame the darkness of oppression. The people of Bangladesh once again prevailed. We are so very proud of our current interim government because they are trying to lead the country in a just way. But we also now stand again at a crossroads where we still face significant challenges in rebuilding our beloved country as the beacon of democracy, prosperity, and security for all and in this region too. I want to address some of those challenges today and outline the vision of my party in terms of what we see as the bright future of a newborn Bangladesh. A Bangladesh reborn, a Bangladesh renewed, a new Bangladesh. You will have seen the words aspiring Bangladesh here all around you. We want Bangladesh to aspire to be a modern market economy that also believes in social justice and where no citizen is left behind. We want a country that aspires to putting national sovereignty first and also is a responsible and active regional and global partner. We want a nation that aspires to putting technology and innovation at the heart of unstoppable economic prosperity and also believes in an interconnected world where values and principles still matter. We want to rebuild a new Bangladesh that stands on the pillars of pluralist democratic values on which our country was founded. My party believes that only through democracy and free, fair, and transparent elections can we move forward as a prosperous country. But what we need now more than ever before is a vision for the country which is backed by tangible, concrete actions which transforms our Bangladesh and delivers for our people, for our citizens. Over the course of today, you will be hearing from some of the best and brightest minds in our country about the policy and delivery action framework of our party. Jamaat Islami on how to transfer the country and to give Bangladesh back their country and the future Bangladesh is back their country and the future they deserve. What you will hear throughout today is a concrete and ambitious policy framework for effective and citizen-centric governance that embraces technology, innovation, and transformation. We are keen to see essential reforms and transformation take place as soon as possible to undo almost 2 decades of damage to our democratic and economic institutions. It is therefore essential that the upcoming election on 12th of February are the most free, fair, and transparent that the country has ever seen and which have been denied to the people of Bangladesh for almost 20 years. Let me also make clear that our party will be voting and campaigning for yes in the concurrent referendum. Yes to reform, yes to July Charter, yes to a new and renewed prosperous Bangladesh. But elections are only the beginning. What we require now is a new national political consensus on what a new Bangladesh will look like and to guarantee democratic freedoms and the rule of law for every citizen of the country. Our pledge to the country is that we will work that any political party that commits to 3 basic fundamentals: rooting out corruption, promoting social justice, and driving forward essential reforms to build a governance system that the people of Bangladesh can be proud of and they relentlessly delivers for them. For us, governance means service to the people. If we are given the opportunity, we will govern as the servants of the people and we will always honor this sacred trust. As mainstream Muslim Democrats, we have participated in every free and fair, credible elections throughout the decades, whether that is at a national level or local government level. And we look forward to continuing to do so. In building a new Bangladesh, the role of women is absolutely vital. As you will be aware, women are already completely integrated in Bangladesh's economy and estimated 37% are in the formal workforce. I am proud that this is one of the highest rates in South Asia, and my party is determined to help grow this number further and faster than ever before. But in order to do this, we have to also ensure that Bangladeshi girls and young women have equal access to the education from primary to university level. I am proud that women make up 43% of my party's membership. My party is fully committed to creating opportunities across our country so no girl is left behind and that they are able to fulfill their full potential as equal citizens in New Bangladesh. We'll stand shoulder to shoulder with anyone who believes in the equal opportunity for all. We also want to work closely with our international partners in rebuilding Bangladesh as a thriving and prosperous modern market economy. Bangladesh is one of the fastest growing economies in the world and is one of the youngest populations globally. The opportunities for trade and mutual growth are endless. Our young people will remain our engine for growth and prosperity with our youth employment as a key strand of our governance framework. My party believes that through trade and participation in the global economy, can Bangladesh achieve its true potential as an economic leader in our region. In that, our partners across the world can help by showing confidence in the new Bangladesh that we are building by investing and by partnership with us in creating employment opportunities for our young people. This in turn also brings mutual economic benefits to foreign investors with guarantees of a transparent and open economy in new Bangladesh. My party is determined to build a modern welfare system driven by the engine of the growth. We are drawing inspiration for this from many parts of the world and which we can learn from. We will promote agricultural development and food security, driving projects that empower farmers, increases productivity, and establish food security. In industrial growth, we will promote policies that revitalize local and global industries, create jobs, and promoted economic growth whilst integrating into the global economy. We will champion initiatives for small and medium-sized businesses, opening doors for local entrepreneurs and bolstering Bangladesh's industrial base with opportunities set for FDI. We have already made clear that we will stand strongly behind any efforts to ensure that no future government in Bangladesh will be able to subvert the economic system and state resources for their own. Prosperity can only be built on internationally recognized norms of transparency. But a prosperous, modern and new Bangladesh can only exist where all citizens, regardless of their faith, gender, creed or race, are treated as equals. My party is proud that we stand as defenders of every Bangladeshi citizen and their rights. It is not only our responsibility to protect the rights of the minorities, but actually an obligation and sacred duty, whether they be Hindus, Buddhists, Christians, or any faith. I am so very proud that my party has over 500,000 members from other faith groups who stand together to make a country stronger. In all of this, we want the new Bangladesh to be a strong, reliable, and trustworthy partner in our region and globally. Finally, I shall finish where I started, which is with a message of hope from our new Bangladesh. As you will see from our policy action plans for governance, our politics is not of division but of hope, healing, and unity. Hope for a better future, hope for a country that lights the way of others, hope for a country where everyone is equal. That is what my partners promise today. And every day, please join us in making that promise a reality. I am especially giving thanks to those intellectuals and resource persons who are going to be made this summit fruitful. And again, thanking you all who has attended and honored our invitation here. We are really grateful to you. Please, we unite together locally, regionally, and globally for a prosperous Bangladesh and to move forward. Thank you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you very much, Honorable Amir Jamaat of Bangladesh Jamaat Islami, for your thoughtful and inspiring opening address. Your reflections on ethical leadership, national responsibility, and principled governance have provided meaningful direction for our discussions today. Your words remind us that sustainable policy reform must be grounded in justice, integrity, and service to the people. On behalf of the organizers of the Policy Summit 2026, we sincerely appreciate your time, presence, and valuable guidance. We are truly honored by your participation. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me once again in giving the Honorable Amir Jamaat a warm round of applause again.
Now we are going to go into the policy presentation segment. Our first session is on strategy for Bangladesh governance framework, a topic which is central to democracy, accountability, transparency, and citizens' participation. This session will explore our proposed institutional reforms, decentralization, and strengthening local governance structures. The panelists for this session are Dr. Syed Abdullah Muhammad Taher, panel member, Naebe Amir of Bangladesh Jamaat-e Islami, former MP, Kumilla 11. Next we have Dewan A.H. Alamgir, who's the keynote speaker, development program and policy expert with 35 years of experience. We then have Shariful Alam Zinnah joining as a panel member, former Secretary, Government of Bangladesh, Professor, Department of Political Science, Dhaka International University. Then we have Shah Alam Bakshi, panel member, former Secretary, Ministry of Administration, MP candidate, Ghazipur 1. Lastly, as the fifth, we are going to have Engineer Niama Islam, panel member, electrical consultant, private firm, Joint Secretary Shommilito Nari Proyash. I kindly invite the Honorable Presenter and respected panel members to take their seats on the stage. A big round of applause to welcome them on stage, please. I would like to remind the audience to kindly take notes as the main presentation goes on. You can either hand over the questions to the volunteers to be read out by the volunteers or moderator, and if you so wish, you can ask them directly to the presenter and panel members during the panel discussion. Are we all seated? Let us now begin the session with the keynote speech by Dewan A.H. Alamgir. Thank you. I would like to request Mr. Dewan A.H. Alamgir . Hello. Dear audience, we again humbly remind you to take notes of the questions that you want to ask the panel along with the presenter. Now we would like to commence the policy presentation session, welcoming Mr. Dewan A.H. Alamgir to commence his main presentation, please. Thank you.
Slide আসবে না? Distinguished guests and distinguished panelists, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. I am Dewan Alamgir. I will be presenting on the governance framework for Bangladesh. Before I go there, let me introduce myself slightly differently. I will be first-time voter, although I am almost 65 years old. I will be voting this time along with millions of other young people who will be voting in coming election. Secondly, I am a really concerned citizen. We are at the crossroad, as Mr. Amir has mentioned. We have a choice to make. One is the choice for democracy, prosperity and justice, or going back to business as usual. For Bangladesh, let me just mention, during independence or following independence of Bangladesh, we expected a nation of democratic system, justice and prosperity, but did it happen? And what we saw before, what we saw after, a very, very different economic system where some people took control of the economy and basically plundered our banking system and others. And you will see, even today's newspaper shows that the poor state of banking system in Bangladesh. On the political system, we suffered from one-party rule. We have seen military rules. We have seen sham elections. And over the last 15 years, we have seen how political system has been captured without any election. And of that came the 2024 revolution of millions of people came out within the street to protest and demand that we want democracy, we want prosperity, we want justice. That's the basis for my presentation as well as for the future of Bangladesh. So, after all the analysis, and if you can, we really consulted people, and it is very common that made the conclusion that the basic problem is the absence of good governance. And from that, we have seen authoritarian rule, we have seen corruption and crony capitalism, and combine that too, we see control of, the concentration of power in political area as well as in the economic space. And we like to change that. Through this presentation as well as the next election, we like to see change in that. However, although this is very pessimistic, Bangladesh and we Bangladeshis are hopeful people. Our farmers feeding a population of 180 million people. We see our garments workers, millions of women, our micro entrepreneurs, SMEs and businesses actually keeping us afloat. Our remittance, poor people, skilled, many of them are unskilled, working outside Bangladesh, send us remittance. Although we'll see a presentation this afternoon where we'll show you that how we can really train our people and send them abroad, at the same time create jobs for them within the country. Combine all them, we like to really continue. We got to build what we have already made progress. Now, what is the vision? Just simple way, vision for Bangladesh, as Mr. Amir also mentioned, I will be paraphrasing him. We want democracy, we want economic prosperity, we want justice and unity. A united country where every person, every citizen has the opportunity to really reach highest of his or her capability. So if we do the program we have developed, almost all sectors policy papers we have developed, if you can implement that, and we plan to implement that, we'll create these four things. One is a permanent democratic system. We like to see the outcome. We want prosperity for all, not for few. From the poor all over the country to the anyone, everyone, we should have a basic shared prosperity. We should not have illegal, ill-gotten wealth captured by few people. We would like to see extreme poverty eradicated as soon as possible. We have a program for that, and ultimately a just society. So, what will be the governing principle for this party? One is, of course, economic justice, a pro-Bangladesh policy. We like to see our interests protected, whatever the sector is. An effective government, not a large wasteful government, but an effective one. We like security. Tools issue really has become very, very critical for this nation. We feel insecure within the country, and corruption is at the highest. And the worst situation is that. So, citizen security will come as the core of all governing principle, anti-corruption measures, at the same time equal opportunity for all. Whatever the competence and the capability of a person should have that opportunity to capture the opportunity in the economy and in the society. So what are we proposing? What is the framework or the thought process of us? We are simply proposing three elements that will lead us to the outcome we are proposing. One is the fundamental one is the good governance, as I mentioned. Second point is inclusive growth through investment by the government and the private sector. The private sector will invest in business, and government will be investing in all other things, especially in people. Education, health, infrastructure and others will provide the basis for investment for the private sector. And of course, as you know, almost 30% of Bangladesh population lives in extreme poverty. We like to have a very strong social safety net for them so that we can eradicate poverty as soon as possible. Although we will not be discussing this issue in details today, but we have a detailed program to eradicate extreme poverty. We will be happy to share with you sometime in the future. So my presentation will be focusing on the good governance. The following presentation by Professor Warisul Kurim will discuss on the growth, economic issue. Let me just focus on the governance part. We see governance as four elements. As far as we are concerned, there may be other frameworks, but for us, we are talking about 4 elements. One is good political governance. Political governance. Second one is good economic governance. We want macroeconomic stability. As you know, we are in a real crisis. Then we are proposing a strong local government system and shared urbanization, planned urbanization throughout the country. A country of 180 million people cannot be governed from one city, and it should be the political power and development should be spread throughout the country. So let me just briefly mention few elements of political governance. First of all, a democratic governance. For the first, this should be the last time that people has to come out in the street to democracy. So what we are saying, a democratic system must be a permanent one, where free and fair election should be the only way of transfer of power. That's one. And we like to see it done permanently. And we like to see consensus on this issue. And in practice, we like to see that all political parties follow this. Second one is the reduction of concentration of power. As you know, as Mr. Amir said, this party will be voting yes for July Declaration and the Songbad. That means those proposals that brings balance between power of Prime Minister, President, as well as all the term limits and other good suggestions that have been given and agreed upon, the party will support that. So that we like to bring a real balance of power. It should not be the dictatorship of the Prime Minister in the country anymore. Third culture, actually is the political culture. We are saying our dispute, dialogue, competition, every issue should be solved through dialogue. In the parliament, outside parliament. So that should be the one. Fourth, as I said, I will also discussing strong decentralization. A country of 180 million people cannot be ruled from just one city. Dhaka as a city, I think Dhaka, Chittagong, almost unlivable. Then the issue of economic governance. I like to emphasize on the first issue. We like to see a rule-based system. If you want to start a business, you don't have to have connection with a minister or MP or anybody. You know the rules, you know the system, you start your business and go ahead with it. So that kind of a rule-based system, we like to really make it the way of life, economic life in Bangladesh. There will be strong corruption. So our emphasis will not be on administrative action, rather bring structural changes so that there is a less opportunity to be corrupt. Financial sector reform, Professor Wazil Karim also speak about it. So it's very important that we have to really fix our financial system. Non-performing asset is very high, and this sector has been used as a conduit to siphon out money out of the country. Then capital market also we need reform, because over the decades we have seen at least twice stock market has been used as the conduit for plundering. So that has to stop. On the state-owned enterprises, we like to have reform, but the next immediate step would be to make them profitable. Almost all state-owned enterprises are losing concern, very bigly losing concern, and we like to see more and more digital transaction, digital changes, and eventually we like to see in few years that Bangladesh become a noteless country, no paper note. It should be more and more digital transaction of financial sector. That, I think, will act as a deterrent for corruption. On the stability, although Professor Wasil Karim also will discuss about it, but these are the key things we need immediate action. Of course, we have to control inflation. Inflation is too high for the poor people in general. We like to really go for monetary policy, appropriate one, at the same time more and more investment. And also one of the reasons of high cost of commodities is extortion from the villages to the towns. That has to stop, so that it will have an effect on inflation as well. Improve, of course, we have to collect more taxes, but instead of really raising rate Professor Wasul Karim will propose a different way of thinking revenue collection. We have to increase remittance also. As you know, most of Bangladeshis who work outside Bangladesh, especially Middle East and other areas, these are mostly unskilled people. We like to really develop an skilled workforce for Bangladesh inside as well as for international job market. And we have a detailed plan for that, and there will be a presentation on how we develop skilled workforce for this country to improve, create jobs, at the same time improve productivity of our enterprises, at the same time export, let the world have our skilled people. And as you know, diversifying export is very important. We have to really earn export dollars, reduce our wasteful public finances, and bring more and more transparency to especially big public investment. There should be really scrutiny of making big projects. It should not be depend on the whims of one person or just for visibility. We really need to have a transparent process of selecting public investment. And the final one, the fourth pillar, as I said, we need to have decentralized urbanization. Dhaka, Chittagong has grown so-called organically, almost unlivable. So what we are saying is a country of 64 districts. So we should have planned 64 cities, and each Upazila should have one or more than planned urban centers. That means Bangladesh should not be a country of 2 cities. It should be 64 cities planned and 500 plus smaller towns integrated with each other. So that we can create jobs in the small towns. We should have health, education everywhere, so that we don't have to come to Dhaka for all the services, whatever the area is. In the small towns, we should have. For that to happen, I think we need a strong local government also. Our local government system is really weak. We all have 3 tier of Jila Parishad, Upazila and Union Parishad, but still we don't have real consensus on how to strengthen local government. I think it needs consensus of the political parties, because without that, we like to a system where local government system does not change with change of government, change of party. This should have a permanent setup, permanent system, so that concentration of power and development should go throughout the country. So when we have a small district or a small town, we like to see hub of 4 things. One is, of course, housing, living, that will be people. We like to see jobs and economic growth in each area with industrial zones in each district, each Upazila. We should have education and skill. Without education, service people will not want to live in small towns, and health services. Because for health service, even a poor person has to come from all the way from remote area to Dhaka to get a basic surgery. Or as you know, millions of people go outside Bangladesh to get health service. This has to stop. This is a big commitment from our part, that we should have towns and cities and towns throughout the country where we have basic 4 services: employment, job opportunities, education, and health services, so that we don't need to have rural to urban migration in Bangladesh. So let me just finish this saying, we equate good governance with national transformation. That's our fundamental promise, and that's our fundamental way of thinking development of Bangladesh for the future. Thank you very much for your attention. That's our fundamental promise, and that's our fundamental way of thinking development. We are available for any question and answer. Our panelists are available. I will be available also for any question or any clarification you may need. Thank you. We are available for.
Thank you. Thank you for that insightful presentation. As our audience works on their questions for the panel members, we would like to welcome the panel members to provide their brief perspectives, remarks, or comments. Meanwhile, if any audience has any question, please raise your hands and you will be approached by the volunteers. You can hand over your written questions or read them out loud on your own in the mic for the panel. Can we now move on to the panel discussion for the comments as we collect questions from the audience? Thank you.
আপনি কমেন্ট করতে বলছে কিছু বলবেন লোকাল গভর্নমেন্টের উপরে 1 or 2 minutes just introductory আপনি নিজেকে ইন্ট্রোডিউস করে নেন তাহলে হবে
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Distinguished guests, before I touch upon the local government briefly, let me introduce myself first. I'm Dr. Shariful Alam. I did my master's from Chittagong University and Wageningen Agriculture University, Netherlands. And then I did my PhD from Asian Institute of Technology. And now I am teaching at Dhaka International University, as you have heard. So it's my privilege and honor to present before you. And I share some of the issues that slightly touched upon by Dr. Dewan Ali Haidar Alamgir. Actually, the local government is the oldest institutions in this subcontinent, starting its journey from 1870s. Now the most significant unit is at the local level, Union Parishad. You know, there are several theoretical and practical underpinnings behind these local government institutions. As you know, that the local government is the breeding ground for political training the people and preparing the people for the national politics or the national parliament. And the second thing is that it is the mainstay of service delivery for the local people. And these are being done now, though there are some interruptions. And the third thing, that is the theory says that the subsidiarity theory, you know that subsidiarity theory is the concept that matters should be dealt in by the lowest tier of the administrative system, or those who are at the grassroots, they must be handled, or their service should be provided by the local setup, not by the central. Central can handle only those things that are not possible by the local level to solve. So the way Dr. Alamgir has, Dewan Ali Haidar Alamgir has presented that the Jamaat Islami, Bangladesh Jamaat Islami will establish such local government system that should be fully financially empowered, and the administrative authority should be devolved in such a way so that the central control is as minimum. Only when central government will intervene when the local government cannot solve this problem. And it will be not only the responsibility, now the local government system is functioning in such a way, so many responsibilities are there, but they are held also accountable, but the financial authorities are not fully transferred to them. So financial autonomy is not there, and there are lack of financial opportunities as well. So few areas of financing are there, but not they are fully financially solvent or capable of serving the people as the people are expecting from it. So the local government will be the main hub of the development as Bangladesh Jamaat Islami envisions. So I think in the future, if Bangladesh Jamaat Islami is given the responsibility of taking care of the services and the affairs of the people. It will try its best to devolve the system to the lower level, Union Parishad, Upajala level, Upajala Parishad and Jala Parishad as the political consensus permits. Say for example, first Bangladesh Jamaat Islami will try its best to come to a consensus what will be the setup and system and structure of local government. And then it will start some pilot reforms program and try to gradually develop the system, and then it will start developing the capacities of the local people so that they can become their own master. They can become the master of their own affairs. So in that way, Bangladesh Jamaat Islami will try to scale up the system nationally. So with this, I will welcome more questions. If you have, then we will respond. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I want to make just a few remarks on the discussion. The basic subject is the good governance. We all know that for good governance, we need good people. And the basic hindrance in our country is the corruption. So for good governance, we must have a society and the individuals free of corruption. The priority of Jamaat Islami and our commitment is that we'll make a corruption-free society and corruption-free government. Number two, we need the efficient and skilled manpower for good governance, and we need the sincere people, patriotic people, honest people, and dedicated people. And Jamaat aims to build up a society which will produce such type of individuals and personalities. And again, for the good governance, we need the very good system which will ensure the equality and which will ensure the rights for all the society, the people of all walks of people, men and women, children and old, or all the professions. And the fourth, for the good governance and the good society, we need the elevation of the poverty in the society. And we have a long-term policy to eradicate poverty in the society, giving them employment, education, cooperation, and a moral-based, benevolent personalities. So if we can achieve this, we can have a good government, good society, good people,